Hey guys, welcome back to Career Mode Reviews. In the last episode, I did Project Cars 2, so make sure to check that out. But in this episode, I'll be doing Assetto Corsa, so without further ado, let's get on with it. So what's Assetto Corsa? Assetto Corsa is a racing simulator that's almost 10 years old now, but has stood the test of time and claims to be one of the most realistic simulators on the market. I'm going to check out its career mode in this video. Assetto Corsa has over 170 cars, including DLCs, but it doesn't have too many tracks. This is where the mods come in. Assetto Corsa is fully moddable, so you can create your own tracks and your own cars. There are tons of channels which teach you how to create your own tracks, and even a couple that just do it for fun. There are also lots of websites which do mods. I definitely recommend Race Sim Studios and Race Department. I'll put the link to both of them in the description, but if you know any, please let me know in the comments. In Assetto Corsa, on the career mode, you have to start off racing a specific car, called the R-Bath 500. Although it looks like you can choose where you go next, like in Project Cars, you can't on Assetto Corsa. You have to take a very specific route where going through the GT cars until you get to the F1 cars at the end. So you can launch Assetto Corsa from here, but you can also launch it from a separate app called Content Manager, where you can launch it in VR as well. Content Manager generally makes things much more simple than Assetto Corsa and has a lot more options. I much prefer it and I definitely recommend you download it. When you click on the division that you would like to race with, you'll be taken to this screen here. This is what it looks like on Content Manager, and this is what it looks like on Assetto Corsa. The only settings that you can change here are your assists, unless you're doing a race, and then you can also change the AI difficulty. Now let's get into the HUD and camera modes on Assetto Corsa. The HUD on Assetto Corsa is fully customizable. Just drag your mouse to the right side of the screen and select what you'd like to have. Then you can drag it across the screen to choose where you'd like it. There's also a G-force meter, which is really cool, and I've really wanted to have on my racing games. This is the first sim that I've seen that has it without having to install the mod. There are tons of cool camera angles on Assetto Corsa. If you press F1, you can scroll through the default cameras. If you press F2, you can watch the TV broadcast while you're driving, which is definitely not weird. And press F6 to get lots of onboard cameras. Press F5 to get this camera mode. Assetto Corsa is also VR compatible. It's very tricky to set up though, so check out this tutorial to learn how to do it. So what's the AI like? In my experience, I found the AI were either way too aggressive or not aggressive enough, and they just wouldn't go for moves. The AI though, when they're racing each other, are quite aggressive though, so it does make for some quite fun battles to watch. But when they're racing against you, sometimes it can be quite frustrating when you're getting towards the end of the race and they just hit you or ruin your race. But other than that, I do think they're quite good, and for a game that's almost 10 years old, I think they're doing quite well with the AI. So what's the handling like? When I was driving the road cars and the GT cars, the force feedback felt really choppy. It would be there one moment and the next minute it would be gone. That might just be the traction control. It was quite annoying because it meant I didn't really get that same feeling of the car that I do when I play Project Cars and iRacing. But when I was racing cars that weren't the road cars and GT cars, the force feedback felt really good. So what happens when you finish a season? When you finish a season, you'll be shown this message. It's congratulations for finishing your season. It will explain a bit about the car you're going to be racing, and it will explain what you have to do to get to the next series. Now let's check out some alternate game modes for Assetto Corsa. In Assetto Corsa, you can do a quick race, a Grand Prix weekend, a drift race, or a drag race. These are all quite cool because you don't really get these types of races like the drag races and the time attack in other games. You can also do a practice session and online races. In Assetto Corsa, you can also create your own custom championship using your own calendar. You can also use any cars you'd like and your custom point scoring. You can change how long qualifying and practice will be. This feature is really cool and I definitely recommend you try it. Assetto Corsa also has tons of controls for your steering wheel, Xbox controller or keyboard. One thing that I do find a bit annoying about this game is that when you're in a session you can't change any of your assigned buttons from the pause menu. You have to go back and quit the session that you're in so you can change it. And then you have to hope that you get it right then, otherwise you're going to have to keep doing that, and it can take a really long time to assign everything that you need to assign. Assetto Corsa 2 has also been announced and will be released summer 2024. It will use the same physics engine as this game, but they're looking for a few more improvements, and I'm definitely really excited to try it out when it comes out. So how accessible is Assetto Corsa? Assetto Corsa is up for £15 or $20 on Steam, but can also be bought on PlayStation and Xbox. Although if you're playing Assetto Corsa on PC, you will need quite a powerful PC to run it. I think Assetto Corsa is aimed at modders because it has such a large modding community that you can even make money off modding it. It's also really popular for video creators, and even James Baldwin races on this simulator. Advanced racers and people who have been racing for a while will also find this really interesting, but I don't think this is the best sim for beginners. That's all for this episode of Career Mode Reviews. If you enjoyed it, please consider donating to my channel and subscribing. I'll be doing iRacing next, which does have a kind of career mode thing built into the game, so I'll be checking that out.